Hi, I'm Joe Consorti, Head of Growth at Horizon. What if you could convert $35 trillion of existing home equity into Bitcoin? What if you could reposition home equity without adjusting your lifestyle? What if you could purchase Bitcoin without having to liquidate cash or investments, without taking out a HELOC, and without a reverse mortgage? Well, now you can. That's why we created Horizon, converting home equity into Bitcoin. Everyone wants and or desires to leave a legacy for their loved ones, and many plan on doing this by creating a personal or family Bitcoin treasury. And the tension that exists in the industry today is where to provide or find the dollars to purchase this Bitcoin. We solve that problem by efficiently deploying dormant home equity, converting it to cash to buy Bitcoin, while preserving investments and cash on hand. Horizon is not debt. Rather, it's a fractional interest in residential property. Our preferred partners effectively take equity ownership in your home's future value and in return provide you today with tax-free cash for the purpose of buying Bitcoin or really anything else. So how does Horizon work? Let's say you want $100,000. For a home valued at $1 million, our preferred partner takes a 10% co-investment in your home. When you sell, refinance, or choose to settle the contract with our preferred partner, the 10% stake can represent home equity ownership of up to 22.5% for our preferred partner, a 2.25x multiple. This is how our preferred partner makes their return on providing cash today. That being said, the implied annual payoff cost to you is always capped at 12.99%, which means in the early years, the home equity share is significantly below 22.5%. Horizon typically becomes cheaper over time. In the early years, assuming a 3% annual home price growth, the annualized payoff cost is capped at a maximum of 12.99%. Over a long period of time, say 8+ years, the costs associated with Horizon will gravitate towards long-term home price appreciation levels. And in this example, assuming 3% home price appreciation per year, the annualized payoff cost gradually declines to approximately 6%. Here's what the equity share formula looks like in practice. Unlike a traditional loan, our preferred partner shares in the upside and downside of your home. If home prices decline, the implied annual payoff cost for Horizon declines. However, the upside is always capped at 12.99%. This is an important differentiation to a traditional loan. Our preferred partner can provide this because it's a co-investment and not a loan. When we compare it to some of the other products that are in the marketplace today, you can actually see how it stacks up. What we have here are 3 different products that people sometimes use when they're looking to access dollars and leverage their home equity. The Horizon cost of funding is in the orange line. The dashed line is a typical reverse mortgage, and it's typically a more expensive proposition in the first 5 years than Horizon. And longer term, beyond 11 years, also typically a more expensive proposition. Another common financing product is a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. As you can see, in the first 8 to 12 years, HELOCs are actually pretty efficient funding options. But again, over the intermediate to long term, assuming 3% home price appreciation, even HELOCs, just like reverse mortgages, can be more expensive than Horizon. The longer you hold it, the more your home equity works in your favor, maximizing the value of your swap into Bitcoin. So let's talk numbers here. If you're able to take money out of your home equity with Horizon and invest it at a rate of 7%, in roughly 20 years, the value of the money invested at 7% actually equals the cost of our solution, assuming a 3% home price appreciation. But Bitcoin's historical growth rate is much higher than 7%. If Bitcoin generates an average 25% annual return on the money that you draw out using Horizon, that crossover happens roughly in and around year 5 or year 6. This is important when you think about the opportunity to use Horizon to fund your Bitcoin investment versus using cash or a traditional loan option. Freeing up your home equity to deploy into Bitcoin rather than using cash or other investment vehicles means that your cash and other investments can continue to work in line with your Bitcoin purchase through Horizon. No lifestyle disruptions required. The most important thing is that we've created a model that allows you to transform capital away from what could be your largest asset and into one of the world's best performing ones without selling, refinancing, or taking out a loan with monthly interest payments. If you're predicting Bitcoin will continue to outpace your home's appreciation over the next several years and decades, Horizon is a way to take action on that bet. If you're a homeowner and you're interested in joining Horizon and learning more, visit joinhorizon.com or scan the QR code on screen to get started today.